I owe it to my kids to show them how to move through life even when things get tough. And I'm going to step into that, and and I remember feeling I really had that sense of, I want to be happy. I just want to be happy. And I was prepared to be happy at all costs.
Mm.
I was prepared. And I think you have to get to a place where it's like, what do you want? What kind of life do you want to live? You do have to put yourself a little bit in the center of the circle and say, what do I want? And that's what I did
Mm.
in that moment. And I was just not prepared to live the way I was living anymore. And I had to say it out loud in order to actually make that a really strong verbal declaration for myself. And that's what kicked me off. But I was terrified. I really was. And a lot of people who come into my orbit, some of them are really afraid of themselves. Some aren't. Some are ready to go. Let's go and let's do this. So it can be both, and it doesn't matter. But if you are terrified, if it's something that really scares you, I can tell you that it's the most expansive and empowering space to live in. You can't
Mm.
go wrong. You just can't go wrong. And you know why? Because what you're doing essentially is you're reclaiming choice. And when I was in that space, I had closed the door on choice for myself.
Mm.
I didn't feel like I could make a choice. So in making the choice to be happy was the first reclamation. I made my first step towards reclaiming myself and saying, no, I'm not, and I was terrified of my voice. Terrified. Helena, the
Mm.
thought of me here right now with you doing this, even a few years ago, there's just no shot. My nervous system would have completely shut down. It just wouldn't have been an option. I was so
Mm.
terrified of myself and my truth. And you might be listening to me now going, whatever, Alex, sure, okay. But I'm being genuinely honest with you. I didn't even type one thing into online. I was terrified, right? It's one step at a time. It's the same way that you self-abandon one step at a time is the same way you come back into your aliveness one step at a time.
Mm. Yeah. If we take this into a professional context, how do you see that manifesting there?
You mean in the work context?
Yes.
Yeah, I see the same way. I see the same thing when I was in my younger years and I was working more in the corporate world, and I was a real pleaser. I was a real pleaser. I don't think I ever spoke from a place of truth, to be honest. And I and it really cost me a lot. I think that was part of my cumulative self-abandonment, right? This one step at a time, just invisible parts, like just one part at a time, just knocking them off. And
Mm.
I became really good at my job. I was excellent at my job. I was but I learned how to manage emotions. I learned how to read rooms. I learned how to step only where I was going to be okay.
Mm.
I was not a disruptor. I was not anybody and yet, and maybe people will really relate to this, I had this disrupting like spirit inside of me. So I would sit there and I would listen to everyone. I'm like, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah. I had the whole thing going on in my mind.